Hey guys, Apocalypso here, back with the penultimate episode of Extreme AI Matchups. Hard to believe this is coming to a close, but it is. And today, it is the Ethiopians versus the Malians. Yes, the Ethiopians versus the Malians. And, fittingly enough, the map is Serengeti, which is an African map, so it's fitting for the two African civilizations who are fighting against each other. Now, the Ethiopians are an archer civilization. Now, their first bonus is that their archers fire 18% faster. Now, that's a really good bonus. Basically, it means that they have a very good advantage against other archers, and they just have more damage output uh, overall. And hold up, give me a moment here. Alright, there we are. Sorry, I forgot to change a setting there. But we're back. Okay, so yes, faster firing archers is a very good bonus. Basically means that Ethiopian archers are some of the best in the game. Now, it only applies to the archer line. Doesn't apply to skirmishers, doesn't apply to cavalry archers. They do also have thumb ring, which affects all of the archers, I believe. But for the Ethiopian archer line, that basically means their archers are the fastest firing in the game, which is quite significant for sure. And basically, it means that they can they can win against almost any other archer from any other civilization, including, well, maybe the Vietnamese might be able to win. The Vietnamese, what do they have? Let's see. Uh, their archers have extra HP, but they might be able to beat Ethiopian archers. I never really checked. I never really looked into it, but it seems like the two would have quite the competition there in terms of archers. But yes, that's what the bonus means. So then their next bonus is that they receive plus 100 gold and food. Try to combine the two. They receive 100 gold and food whenever they finish advancing to the next age. Now, basically, what it means is as soon as you get to the next age, whether it be feudal age, castle age, or imperial age, you can immediately do something right off the bat. Uh, you don't have to really spend that much. Well, I mean, obviously you have to spend the money, but you have to spend the resources. But you have more resources to spend to begin with, so you could potentially, since you get food and gold, um, archers cost wood and gold. But what you could try to do is you could try to go for some archers. You're probably gonna have a lot of wood. You're probably gonna have a lot of wood in once you get to feudal age. But what you could do is try to create some archers and then some skirmishers as soon as you put down as soon as you put down an archer range. You could try to do that. You could use those extra resources to get out some archers and skirmishers pretty quickly. You could also try to go for some scouts, but actually you only have enough resources for one scout with the extra resources. So that might not be optimal. But you could also put down a blacksmith and try to go for some some archer upgrades. You could get fletching. It costs 100 food and 100 gold. And excuse me for a minute. Anyway, yeah. So you could get fletching with those extra resources and still have some 50 gold left. And obviously, fletching is a big technology for the archers in the feudal age. So that's one thing you could do with it. So there's a lot of things you could do with the bonus. You could also not go for anything extra and just have some extra resources to spend that you could put towards the castle age. Uh, yeah, the Castle Age research because it costs, I believe, 800 food and 200 gold to get to the Castle Age. Yes. So if you save the gold that you get from getting to the feudal age, you already have half the gold cost there. Uh, uh, Assuming you don't have any gold. But if you do have gold, you have all the gold cost already with the with extra gold that you receive. So you could potentially make some very fast advance times. But of course you still need those buildings, you're not the Khmer. But yes, there are a lot of things you could do with the bonus, and that's my point. So then the next bonus is that the pikeman upgrade is free. Now, it was originally the halberdier upgrade was also free, but they took that away because silly. That's interesting. So it doesn't show the upgrade costs in the tech tree because it's free, but for the halberdier you do see the upgrade cost because it isn't free. So it costs 300 food and 600 gold to advance it to upgrade to the halberdier. So I guess they figured that was too much savings. So uh, they just made it so that uh, they just get a pikeman upgrade for free, which is actually still really good because you don't need to pay for that upgrade, and you also can upgrade to the halberdier faster. Now, the reason this bonus is big, the reason it's important, is because um, knights are a very good counter to archers, and pikemen and halberdiers are a very good counter to knights. And since you're probably going to have a lot of archers on the field, since you are an archer civilization, uh, it's important to have that. And it just makes killing enemy cavalry so much easier than it usually is with other civilizations. So that's that's a good bonus, I must say. Now for the team bonus, towers and outposts have +3 line of sight. Not that helpful for single player like 1v1 games, but uh, I guess it's helpful for detecting uh, enemy units sooner. But it's just a team bonus. Team bonuses tend to be pretty weak. So anyway, that's about all there is to say about the team bonus. So the unique unit is the Shotel Warrior. It says it is the Ethiopian unique infantry with high attack and fast training speed. Fast moving, strong versus infantry, weak versus archers. Now you can see they they have 45 HP, which isn't all that much. They have 16 attack, zero armor at all, zero range, of course. Uh, so they're pretty weak in terms of HP for for standard infantry. You see, they have longswordsmen have 60 and two-handed swordsmen also have 60. So uh, the Shoto warrior is quite a bit behind in terms of HP, but it does have a ton of attack. It has 16 attack base. That's unupgraded. So I believe with all the upgrades, regular Shotel warriors have 20 attack. Because let's see, one attack, two attack. Yes, so that's four attack in total. So yes, so regular unupgraded Shotel warriors with all the attack upgrades have 20 attack, and then elite Shotel warriors have 22 attack. That's on the same level as the Janissary, which is considered one of the strongest unique units in the game in terms of attack. And this is an infantry unit. And infantry units don't usually have such high attack. So it's a pretty insane unit. And since they're fast, you know, they're fast moving. They can get to their destination sooner. But they also have a fast training speed, which means if your castle is being attacked by rams, you have an extremely high attack unit that deals melee damage that is trained very quickly. So that is definitely an important trait for the Shotel Warrior. But again, the drawback is that they're really weak. They have no armor by default, and they have very low HP compared to regular infantry. So that's definitely it's a very interesting unit. It could be used as support for your archers in a similar vein to the halberdier because of its very high attack. So it really depends on how you want to use it. So the unique tech, the first castle unique tech is Royal Heirs. Shotel warriors are created nearly instantly. So Shotel warriors already have a very fast creation speed. Um, and Royal Heirs makes it even faster, which is pretty insane. So you're gonna be pumping out these guys very fast. Uh, yeah, yes, you're gonna be pumping out those Shotel warriors like fundamentalist Christians pump out babies. Anyway, yeah. So jokes aside, yes, this is a very good tech. But it might not make much difference in the grand scheme of things if you're not you know strapped for time. If time isn't of the essence, it may not be necessary to get this tech at all. But it is useful if you want to get a high number of Shotel warriors very quickly. So then their Imperial Age unique tech is called torsion engines, uh, which is where siege workshop units blast radius increased. Now, something that's not stated in the tech tree is that the Ethiopians are also a siege civilization. Before dynasties of India, they had access to every single siege unit. Of course, they don't have the armored elephants, even though I think it would be fitting for the Ethiopians to have armored elephants instead of rams because they did use actual elephants in combat. So I think that would be pretty neat. But, that's a discussion for a different time. But the point is, the Ethiopian siege is top notch. For some reason, I'm not sure what the historical justification for that is. And they also didn't have any access to torsion engines at all. So this is a very baffling technology for the Ethiopians specifically to have. But, whatever. It's neither here nor there. And the point is, their mangonels, their onagers become really good. Their rams become also really good. They have a lot of splash damage to surrounding buildings with this tech, and they can really clear out a large portion of the enemy town very quickly, and that is pretty cool. And onagers, they have bigger blast radius, and onagers are already known for their blast radius, so that's pretty cool. Um, Scorpions have a bigger blast radius, which they didn't really have a big one to begin with, but it's helpful for um, clearing out large groups of units quickly. Mike Empires actually just did a video for showing off the Ethiopian Scorpions versus most of the unique units, or actually versus every unique unit. Excuse me. And for most of the unique units, the Ethiopian Scorpions, like the heavy Scorpions, they had a very clear advantage. They won most of the battles, which is pretty telling. I don't think I saw the whole video. Maybe I saw the whole video. No, I did see the whole video. Yeah. But it is pretty telling that heavy Scorpions, which are one of the weakest and most underused uh, units in the game, can be so effective against large groups of units with this technology. So it's definitely worth picking up. Now, something else that's also not stated is that something else that is not really known is that bomber cannons also get a bit of splash damage with this tech. I don't think they had any before. If they did, it was very small, but for this, it's actually quite a bit bigger. So it's not that big, but it's still pretty useful. Overall, I think you can probably get, do more damage to more units easily with the bombard cannon with the extra blast radius, but you know, they're already pretty strong to begin with. So that's all I really have to say about the Ethiopians. So moving on to the Malians, they are also a very interesting civilization. They are an infantry civilization. They're kind of similar to the Ethiopians in some ways, but not really. Um, they have good archers as well, but they have access to the hand cannoneer, which is something that Ethiopian the Ethiopians don't have. They don't have hand cannoneers. But the Malians have access to champions as well. But they don't have access to hussars, and I believe the Ethiopians do. Yes, the Ethiopians have access to hussars. The Malians do not. But the Malians have access to bloodlines, so it seems like they're more of a strict um, infantry and cavalry civilization in general, rather than specifically archer and siege like the Ethiopians. So the first bonus is that buildings cost minus 15% wood. Now that doesn't apply to farms. It used to apply to farms, but it doesn't now. So it hasn't applied to farms for a while. But the point is, these buildings, the fact they cost less wood means they're not as devastating to your economy, and you can also build them more easily. So that's helpful for like production buildings and also town centers and houses and camps. They all cost less wood. So you just have a more efficient economy in general. Now, it's nothing like the Burmese who have free lumber camp technologies, but buildings costing less wood is very helpful in general, and it's definitely a very useful economy bonus. So then the next one is that barracks units have +1 pierce armor per age, starting from feudal age. So they are completely generic in the Dark Age, but in the feudal age they get one, then in the castle age they get one, and then the imperial age they get one. So they get 3 pierce armor base in the imperial age, and that's not counting with the upgrades. So Malian Malian infantry is specifically the barracks units. They are st- stronger against archers than most other infantry, probably any other standard infantry other than Eagle Warriors, of course. And that's because, they're usually so slow and they don't really have pierce armor for the most part. Um, but uh, so archers are very good against uh, infantry because they're slow, for the reasons I mentioned. But Malian infantry is a lot stronger, does a lot better against archers because of all that pierce armor. And archers don't usually have that high attack, so most of the damage is actually negated by the pierce armor. So it is a very good bonus. Makes the barracks units last a lot longer against archers, and just makes them better. So, and it should be mentioned that they don't have paladins, so they might not have super great options in terms of anti-archer units. So definitely this pierce armor bonus for infantry will help a lot. Now, gold mines last 30% longer. Now, it used to be they had the gold mining technologies for free, but that is, I guess they deemed that was broken or something, so now they just have the gold mines lasting 30% longer. So it has a similar effect, sort of. Basically, it means you Well, actually, it has a completely different effect because in the case of the free gold mining technologies, you actually mine the gold faster by default. But with the new bonus, you mine at the same rate, but you just get more of it. So you actually have more gold overall, which is I'll take more gold overall than getting access to it faster for sure because it helps a lot better in a longer game. So that's I it's probably a better bonus than the free gold mining technologies were, which was actually kind of broken. So, but it's all for the better because it's probably better in my opinion. So, and the team bonus is that universities work 80% faster. So you don't get there's some of them you don't get like siege engineers, bombard tower, arrow slits, but you get all the other ones. And this is the team bonus. So civilizations like the Koreans and the Portuguese who have all of the university technologies, they can make great use of this team bonus. Uh, they're gonna research this stuff so quickly, and chemistry is actually a very slow technology to research. So the fact that it's researched 80% faster, and the fact that you have access to regular cannon galleons, bombard cannons, and of course hand cannoneers, just makes it easier to get access to those things because chemistry is researched faster. And you also get access to keep, architecture, so all that stuff is researched significantly faster. So it's a good team bonus for sure. Definitely want to have the Malians on your team if you're playing civilizations like the Koreans or the Teutons, civilizations that rely a lot on the university. So that's that's good. Good thing to keep in mind. So then the unique unit of the Malians is the Gabeto. Uh, Malian unique infantry unit with ranged melee attack, fast moving, strong versus infantry, weak versus archers and siege weapons. So the first, it's the second uh, infantry unit to have an actual ranged projectile melee attack. So not like the Kamayuk, it's more like the throwing axeman, except it's way faster and has higher attack than the throwing axeman. And the throwing axeman has uh, how much attack? 7 attack base, and that would be 8 attack for the elite. And then for the Malians, they have 10 attack base and then 13 attack for elite. So higher attack. Now it is squishier, so it's you have to basically use it to hit and run because it is fast moving. So it's quite different from the throwing axeman. They have basically completely different roles. The throwing axeman is designed more for long-term usage in the army to support the cavalry to make it to fight against the spear units that are going to threaten the cavalry. But Gabettos, they are not really designed for long-term army usage because of how squishy they are. So it's better to use them for hit and run, since they are fast and they have that high attack. So that's an interesting thing to keep in mind. And another really unique thing about them is they're female, and it's I think this is the only actually trainable female military unit in the game. You have the female uh, Flemish militia, but that's only spawned because of Flemish Revolution for the Burgundians. Uh, so that doesn't really count. And of course, you have the female villager, but it's not a military unit. So the Gabetto is the first and only female uh, military unit, which I think that's actually trainable. It's the first female trainable military unit, which I think just makes it more unique. It's definitely stands out more than some generic cavalry unit that the Malians would have if they were trying to be more historically accurate. So in this case, the cool factor just kind of trumps historical accuracy, which it is a game after all, so that's something interesting. Now, the first unique technology is called Tigui. That's town centers fire arrows. Now, they already fire arrows if villagers are inside them, but this means that they fire arrows all the time, and if villagers are inside them, they fire extra arrows. So that's it's a pretty good defensive tech for sure. Basically, what it means is they they can just sort of do a town center drop, and with this technology, and the town centers will just fire arrows automatically, and I mean it's useful defensively for sure, and I think it's a pretty good tech, if a little situational, but you can probably do some pretty neat things with it. Now the next the second new tech is Farimba, which is where cavalry have +5 attack. So um, that's actually pretty huge. That is a huge amount of attack for cavalry. Now keep in mind, they do not have the hussar or the paladin. Um, but they do have husbandry and bloodlines, and I believe no, they don't have blast furnace or bracer, but they don't have blast furnace, and that also affects cavalry. So their cavalry is going to be quite strong. It's really just +3 because they don't have blast furnace, but it's still a huge leg up from other cavalry. So Malian cavalry is some of the best in the game, despite all of those missing units and the missing blast furnace. So it is a good tech, and the cavalry can definitely be used to complement the infantry quite well. Uh, and that's really all there is to say about it. So I am going to start the game now, and of course, skip forward. So remember, this is the Ethiopians we're focused on, and this is, of course, Serengeti, which is an African map. So it's very interesting how this kind of worked out that way. I did not plan it this way; it just happened. Building a lumber camp. Now, the thing about Serengeti, you have clumps of trees, but they're not super close together. Oh, here's an elephant. Okay. Yeah, the thing about Serengeti is you have clumps of trees, but they're not really super close together, so the lumberjacks are not going to be as efficient as they are going to be on other maps. You already have the mill on the fruit bush. You have the goats. I think the goats sound really cute. They actually sounded even cuter in African kingdoms. They have another lumber camp. Now, these are baobab trees. They have 200 wood, and the acacia trees have 150 wood. So definitely the fact that the tree patches are smaller, uh, definitely makes up for the fact that there's fewer. Or what am I saying? I'm getting all distracted. All right, so now they're on their way to feudal age. So, as I was trying to say, they started farming. So the fact that you have more wood on the trees definitely makes up for the fact that the clumps of trees are smaller. That's what I'm trying to say. Um, Especially in the case of the baobab trees. Now remember, the Malians get all these buildings um, for less wood. They cost less wood. The Ethiopians are about to get watch and barracks now. So watch the resources when they advance to the feudal age because it's about to jump. All right, so they have the barracks now, and they're actually on gold. So see, watch the resources. They just got some extra some extra resources, which they immediately put down. Now, obviously, they did it instantaneously because it's the AI and they're run controlled by a computer, so it's a lot easier to do this stuff quickly. Um, so the Malians already have a barracks and an archery range now, and they're starting a blacksmith. where the Ethiopians just finished the archer range and are making archers. Um, which is obviously a good choice. Oh, okay, so the Malians went for a 3 militia rush. I did not see that coming. But the villagers are going to be able to fight back because militia are not that strong. But the militia are persistent and are going to stay around, but they have actual archers that can threaten them if necessary. So, see, the archers coming around to try to contribute here. Yeah, but remember, they are in the feudal age now, so they do have extra pierce armor. Even though they were militia just a moment ago, they did have extra pierce armor because they were in the feudal age. So they're not going to be terrible against archers, but they still have to retreat ultimately because it's not worth the engagement. I actually really like the African architecture set, and I think it's really pretty in general, and I think it's very fitting for like Africa. You definitely picture going to some remote African village and seeing these kinds of buildings. So I just think it's very African looking, which is how it should look. Of course, none of the actual units are black except for the unique units, and that's something that might get addressed eventually. I don't know. People have been complaining about it for years, ever since before African Kingdoms came out. But of course, Age of Empires doesn't really have it doesn't really have regional skins for units. Um, they might I don't know if they'll ever end up doing it for the villagers. I would be perfectly fine if they just kept the villagers the way they are. I understand it's a game. It does look a little weird, but it is a game, so it's not really a super big deal. And I understand if they want to keep the units the same so that people can easily identify the units. Oh, we have a market from the Malians. I don't know what they're planning on doing with that. Are they going to advance to Castle Age? No, that's not what they're doing. Um, but right now they're creating archers, which is pretty odd considering the Ethiopians are really good with archers. So the Malians are going to have a very tough competition there. I think what they should do is build a stable. If they don't have one already, I don't. It doesn't look like they have one. What they should do is build a stable and try to make some light cavalry or scout cavalry to combat these archers that the Ethiopians are making. Maybe back them up with skirmishers. You have a trash army. The thing is, trash tends to pretty counter um, non 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 gold units tend to really well counter gold units, and that's a dynamic that Age of Empires has always had. Uh, it just kind of helps with the balance of the game. But so I think the Malians are going for bad units here. They should have scouts backed up by skirmishers because the Ethiopian archers are just so much better that I'm not sure they'd really be able to compete. Okay, the scout is currently under attack. Um, what's going on here? So the Ethiopians do have a score lead right now, and it's actually pretty significant too. So it looks like they're going to try to go forward with these archers. Excuse me. Okay, so now they're making another wood line, and they are adding a tower, presumably to protect it from raids, which is a good choice. Um, where were those archers that they're? There's a lion. And I did keep the boxing villagers mod just because it's funny. Like I said, now they are adding a market as well, so they're going to also have a market like the Malians do. Um, are the Malians on their way to advancing? No, they're they don't seem to really care about advancing at all. So I'm not sure what they're doing. But the Ethiopians are going to advance very soon. They're on their way. Market's almost done. This house is almost done. So they're 40% of the way to the Castle Age. Uh, they still have not put on any aggression at all, whereas the Malians have. And I think they should probably try to do something with these archers soon because, well, obviously the Malians aren't really trying to build up. But you know, if you want to keep them from getting too big, you want to try to put pressure on them in the early game. That's something that a lot of pro players do, and it's very effective at slowing them down for sure. But so far, they just seem to be minding their own business. There's some relics over there. If the Malians ever advance to the Castle Age, um, they now they are actually advancing Castle Age. Uh, they're a little under halfway there, but now the Ethiopians are in the Castle Age, and that's not great for the Malians. So they're putting a lot of pressure on they're bringing forward their archers. They're going to put a lot of aggression on the Malians. Oh, but the Malians have their own archers. I think they're anticipating an attack here. Uh, oh, but oh no, oh no. They the Malians are expecting the attack from this side. The Ethiopians are attacking from this side. So I think this wood will get denied. But now they have the crossbowmen, so um, oh, but their archers are coming forward. But remember, these archers are so much better than Malian archers, and you're about to see. But for some reason they retreat. I don't know why. Um, but now the Malians are in the Castle Age themselves, so they have more of a fighting chance. And remember, the infantry units do have more pierce armor, so they managed to actually take out some archers themselves. But see, look at all that destruction. It's just Malian archers or Ethiopian archers are just so good that the Malian archers don't really stand a chance. Just look at this. This is insane. They still have they still have units. They're still producing. What are the Malians going for? They are going for Elite Skirmisher, which is a good choice. That's a good choice. But it might be too little too late. They have all these archers here that they're not doing anything with for some reason. But now they have the crossbowmen themselves, so... But it's not going to make much of a difference. Let's see. Yeah, see, it's just... Ethiopian archers are just so good that you basically can't go archers against them at all unless you have good archers of your own. Because you're not going to be able to win. I mean, they're defeating these units just so easily. I mean, sure they lost a lot of their units, but you know, they're still winning. I don't know how the Malians are going to manage to fight off this attack. Well, that skirmisher died. Okay, so now they're adding in rams. They're now adding in rams. So, well, a ram, but I don't know if they do have another ram on the way. So, ooh, ooh, the Malians have the Malians are dropping a castle though. So, let's see. It's being built reasonably quickly, but it might get denied. Doubt castle style. So they have to try to keep the villagers protected until they can get this castle up. Now, they don't have a. Do they have a university? I don't see a university. Um, but if they have a university, if they had a university, they could buy some stone and some other resources and try to get some murder holes and ballistics rather quickly. But it does look like they are going to manage to get this castle up, which is actually quite huge. So that means they actually stand a fighting chance now. Because remember, the Gabetto is, see, there's the castle. The castle is now up. The Gabetto is a melee unit. So any rams that try to attack are going to have trouble. So I think so now the Ethiopians are forced to retreat. They have to because now this castle is just doing too much. That castle saved the Malians. If it wasn't for that castle, they might have lost the game right there. So that castle was crucial. And they sent just the right number of villagers to build it too. So now everything is resetting back to neutral, in a way. I don't know if that terminology exists for this game, but whatever. Well, that gate is horribly impractical. That tree is blocking its path. I don't know what they were thinking there. But now the lumberjacks can slowly return to the wood line because now there aren't any archers denying the wood. And remember, uh, Ethiopian siege is really good. So they're just kind of booming now. They have another town center. Um, is that all the town centers? They have 3 town centers. Okay, they have the town center up here. I think this one's their main one. This one's their main one. So they have another one over here to collect this gold. Um, and they don't have enough. They don't have enough stone for a castle right now, but they have this one here for the wood line and the farms, and then just this one just for farms. So in terms of the Malians, it appears they only have 1 town center. So they are just struggling to get by right now. And I just heard a monastery go up. They're adding a stable now. Interesting choice. I'm not sure what they could do with that, but sure. Hunting zebras. Uh, this kind of plays like a wildlife documentary. Serengeti is one of my favorite maps because it has so many iconic African animals. No giraffes. Wish I had giraffes, but you can't have everything. I mean, giraffes and zebras being on the same map would be so cool, but they're just not there. Okay. Alright, so here are the Malian units. So you've got the Gabettos. So I'm not sure. They're just kind of patrolling right now. So, but look how fast they are. They are fast. Speedy girls. Can't say speedy boys, but they're speedy girls for sure. Uh, oh, I just heard another town center. Yep. So now they have a town center by this wood line. So, uh, I heard. Okay, there's the Ethiopian monastery. You can't really see it too well. Oh, now they have a monastery of their own. So this is the African monastery, and it's actually based on a real building, but I think it's probably one of my favorite monasteries just because it looks so distinctive. It's based on Larabanga Mosque in Ghana. We now have a bunch of archers, bunch of archers. Where were they? Oh, I just passed it. There we go. So this town center is under siege by these skirmishers, but it's not going to be very effective because archers and skirmishers, they're not good against any ranged units. Are really not good against buildings. So I think they're ultimately going to be unsuccessful. I don't know why they decided to do that. Very weird choice. Ooh, but now they're on the way. So now they're at the Imperial Age. They use those extra resources to do something, and they're adding some archer ranges now. So, I hear a relic. Where's the relic? Oh, there's a relic. Okay, so now they have control of a relic. They might have just researched Tigui. Malians might have. I can check. It does definitely look like they researched Tigwee, but um, maybe not. Okay, let me check. I can check. This isn't that hard to check. Um, Tigwee. No, no, it doesn't look like they researched it. Um, that's unfortunate, but they should definitely get on that if they want their town centers to be less vulnerable. Well, that villager gets killed. All right, so this is, but they're actually kind of taking damage now, which is very strange. And give me a moment. Sorry, I had to close my door. Oh, but now, oh, okay, okay, yeah. So now the Ethiopians arrive with their battering rams, their capped rams, excuse me, to get to siege down this town center, and the villagers are forced to eject, and I think they're gonna get killed by these archers. Now the town center is dead, so they're gonna take some losses here. But oh, here come the Gebetos, but they're just so weak they die instantly to the archers. But they do get some kills themselves, so. Ooh, but the Malian skirmishers are actually pushing them back, and if they want to take care of these, the Gabenos are actually able to take care of these rams because it's melee damage. So they're gonna have to push. They're gonna have to stay back for right now, which is pretty crazy. I didn't think that'd be the case. It seemed like they were gonna end the game right there, but it seems like their push is largely unsuccessful for the time being, anyway. This is actually a really crazy game. Like, this is so crazy. So now they have the skirmishers. All the Gebetos are dead. They don't seem to be training anymore for right now. So now the castle is gonna take out these archers, I think. If they can hit them. I don't think they have ballistics research, like the noobs they are. Oh, but now, oh, they lured the units to the castle, so now the castle can kill them. That was actually really smart. That was a really smart play. All right, so I think the skirmishers are actually going to clean up the archers. Now, they're going to want to train some Gebetos if they want to take care of these siege rams, but it doesn't seem like they're doing it, unfortunately. So this castle is probably going to go down, unless by some miracle. So they could have easily trained Gebetos to take care of these rams, but they're just not doing that. They're not doing that. But they do have the villagers trying to kill them, but. Yikes. Okay, so this castle gets taken down. And now you have the trebuchet. Now you have the trebuchet taking down this town center. So this is. The Ethiopians are definitely using their archer and siege advantage here. Like their archer and siege specialty to their advantage. They definitely did a whole lot this game. In terms of taking advantage of their strengths. They used the siege for the they used the siege for the rams, and then they used the archers for the archers. They're adding more trebuchets now, so uh, replacing a town center with a mill. That's well, they don't have the resources for town center. That's why. All right, so now they're just taking down buildings left and right, and I think they're gonna start the Malians are gonna start losing villagers here. I think. Maybe not. I just heard a. Just heard a. I just heard the university go up. Where did I hear the university go up? Um. There it is. So now they're researching chemistry. Probably for the bombard cannons. So now they're taking everything down here. Okay, so the Malians are probably going to have to resign here pretty soon because they're just losing more and more stuff. Now they have now the Ethiopians have onagers. Do they have torsion engines? Do they have torsion engines? That's the question. Um, they don't have torsion engines, but they're still onagers are a really good choice here for the units that the Malians have chosen to make. They're not going towards their cavalry at all. So chemistry's just about to finish. Alright, so here we go. They just finished chemistry, but they're not adding any bomber cannons. Okay, now the Malians are in the Imperial Age, so if they can stay alive long enough, they're okay. They have another castle. Okay, they have a castle in the back, so that's actually pretty good. So that means they can keep Gebeto production coming out and actually do something about these battering rams. Alright, so I think they really need to try to get Gebetos out and um research and conscription. Why? Why are you doing that? You should totally be going for Gebetos and try to snipe these siege weapons, these siege units. But you know, sure, whatever. Do your thing. Don't listen to me. Okay, they just lost their town center, and that was their only town center. They have no resources for any more, as far as I can tell. Oh, they do have the resources for. They have the stone, not the wood. Uh, they might have the wood now. But no, it doesn't look like they do. So they don't have any more. They don't have any other town centers. Oh, they're building. They're building one here. So they're managing to stay alive through all this carnage somehow. I don't know how, but I think they're probably gonna have to resign soon because they can only delay the inevitable so long. Like really, they're gonna have to resign. There's really not much else they can do at this point, unless they choose to go for Gebetos, which they're not doing. Uh, building another castle. That might actually, that's a good choice. If they can get it up. Let's okay, the castle's half up. If they like get all the villagers down to build it, it seems to be going faster now. But they just lost their town center again, and they don't seem to have the resources for another one right now. So, that's a problem. But they will get this. They will get this castle up. This castle is perfectly safe. It's not perfectly safe. They have trebuchet going after it, but this castle will help secure things better if they decide to make trebuchets, or Gebetos. If they decide to make Gebetos, that's not what they're doing. They should totally be making Gebetos, but they're not doing that, which is really stupid. They should be making Gebetos, but you know, whatever. Now that castle goes down, so yeah. So this is it's like watching a terminal patient in the hospital who doesn't want to die, but is just clearly too sick to live. Make it live compares. Oh, have we even seen Shotel Warriors yet? I don't know. I don't think we have. We haven't seen Shotel Warriors at all. Which is very unfortunate because they're a cool unit, but you know, whatever. I guess they didn't really need them. So now the Malian monastery is down, so now they don't have that relic gold either. So they are just losing units. They're losing units left and right. So they're they're not really doing much right. These are mixed wood lines. They don't seem to be really caring much about each other, which is pretty nice. Uh, citizens, civilians, they can still be kind to the enemy civilians even in a time of war. Maybe that could be a lesson to all of us. But Age of Empires. But okay, so these villagers are going to get killed eventually. I don't know what they're planning on doing. I mean, I don't know how much longer this game could possibly last. I mean, they have like nothing. So I think as long as these once these villagers get killed, they're probably going to resign because there's really not much else they can do. So they have these they have these buildings here, but they're about to go down. Yeah. So they just got destroyed there. So um, so now you have one archer trying to go after these villagers. Um, Good luck with that. Um, but now you have the siege. You have the mangonels, the onagers over here, so they might be able to do something. They might be able to do some good here if they don't kill each other. That is, that is a big if. Um, yes, okay, he resigns. Yeah, he lost. Holy cow, that was laggy. Anyway, yeah, that music was like really laggy. Um, yeah, so they basically had to resign at that point because they had like nothing left. They had just a few villagers and that was it. Like that was literally it. So, uh, they had no other choice there. They were building the archery range, but one archery range against an army of rams. Army of rams, how quaint. And some onagers and a trebuchet. Not gonna do so much. So, yeah, they really had no other choice there. So let's let's look at the statistics. Okay, the Ethiopians had an army of 50, which is 10 more than the Malians had. So they killed 279 units. That's a lot. They lost only 156 units, uh, which seems like a lot, but when you consider they had a very good economy, uh, they could just consistently pump out units where the Malians just really couldn't. So they raised 98 buildings, lost only one, and converted 3 units. So very very interesting, very interesting game. Uh, they both explored 99% of the map. I didn't look because I didn't have the fog of war turned on, but that's actually pretty impressive. Um, the most relic gold because they had 3 relics. Uh, the Malians had the Malians had 2 relics captured, but it doesn't show up here. Probably because they lost them in the end. But whatever. They both have the same number of castles total, which is 3. This timeline. Oh boy. Yeah, you can clearly see that there was a huge spike in units here, and then they just kind of started to steamroll everything, and then Molly's just lost everything at the end. So wow, this was uh this was a crazy game for sure. Went on for a lot longer than I thought it would, because it really seemed like they were going to be able to steamroll everything, but the Mollies just didn't give up until the very end, uh, which is pretty admirable, I guess. But being able to acknowledge when you can't do anything else is also good, and the AI seems to struggle with that. So they just resigned after an hour, and not gonna be another long episode, but just a little bit shorter than the other one, I think. But yes, so this is the second to last episode. The last episode will be a mirror match between two Mole players because there was an odd number of civilizations left. So that will be the end of the series. But I will have spin offs and sequels. So look forward to that. And I hope you enjoyed this episode of Extreme AI Matchups, and I will see you in the next one, which will be the last. And I hope you will see me then and enjoy it. Because yes, I hope you enjoy that episode, and I'll see you later. And have a good day. Peace.